Well, good Monday morning, Alaska. We are continuing to hold on to some warm conditions across South Central as well as some sunshine that remains in the forecast. This coming off of what was a wet Saturday where we did officially pick up just over 3/10 of an inch of rainfall here in Anchorage. But of course, we've seen that transition back to some sunnier weather. You can see out overlooking Eagle River Valley where we are holding on to very few clouds in the sky across parts of South Central. This will be the trend through at least the middle of the week before we do begin to see the return to some rain showers in the forecast. Looking across the state, we do have again some clouds breaking through the valley. We may hold on to a bit more cloud coverage today for parts of the Mat-Su Valley, but those temperatures still expected to remain fairly warm. Now out towards Ketchikan, southeast, we're still holding on to those overcast skies, and yes, we are expected to see some rain sticking around, and through the interior we are seeing some decaying thunderstorms this morning, which are really moving just south of Fairbanks, but you can see along the Steese Highway we are seeing some areas of dense fog that is beginning to form. So that's what we've got ongoing across the state. You can see that fog, how it continues to lead to some of that limited visibility at times. So just be careful as you get out on those roadways for the interior. Those temperatures this morning sitting in the 50s and 60s. Now just about 4 hours ago, a Dead Horse was seeing a temperature sitting in the mid to upper 50s, but that temperature has already quickly dropped down into the 30s, where we're currently at 37 degrees. We've got a trough of cooler air that's gripping parts of the state. This is leading to the return to those showery weather conditions, as well as some thunderstorms that we've seen firing through parts of the interior. So we are going to continue to favor additional thunderstorm development throughout the day. Notice that cluster of storms you're seeing just south of Fairbanks. What we've got ongoing across the state, that area of low pressure out towards the Bering Sea, that's going to continue to lead to additional rain, more winds for the Aleutians, the Alaska Peninsula, as well as areas out towards southwest Alaska. And then we've got a very weak area of low pressure in the eastern Gulf of Alaska. But notice in the northern Gulf, we've got a ridge of high pressure. That's going to influence the weather pattern for South Central here over the next couple of days through at least Wednesday. But when we look in the upper levels of the atmosphere, that ridge, as it continues to build, that trough that you're seeing extending down through parts of the interior out towards southeast Alaska, that's going to begin to shift a little bit further to the east. So we'll see that low in the eastern Gulf of Alaska move inland, leading to some light rain showers today across the Panhandle. In addition to that, notice that low that's in the parts of Canada. That's going to begin to shift south overnight into tomorrow. So the areas of the central Panhandle, if you live from Juneau, just north of Sitka and surrounding locations, you will see some heavier rain arriving overnight into tomorrow, where we could see the potential for up to a half an inch of rain accumulation for parts of the Panhandle. So that ridge building in, you can see that in the northern Gulf of Alaska, and you can kind of see how that trough shifts a bit further to the east as that ridge begins to build in here over the next couple of days. Of course, that large sprawling area of low pressure in the Bering Sea, that's going to remain with us for the time being. What we're going to be watching here over the next couple of days is a decaying tropical a decaying typhoon that's going to move south of the Aleutians by the middle of the week. That's going to get wrapped up in that Bering low, and it's going to lead to more increased rainfall, heavier at times for parts of the Alaska Peninsula as well as the eastern Aleutians by the middle to the end of the week. This is where we're going to be talking about the potential for well over 2 inches of rain looking possible. So yes, rain is back in the forecast. You can see that trough out towards the slope will lead to those cooler conditions. So here over the next couple of days, notice rain for the slope out towards the Brooks Range. We could see some areas of the slope picking up over half an inch of rainfall. We'll also be watching here over the next couple of days for anywhere from a half an inch to nearly an inch of rain falling through parts of the interior where we're going to be watching some of those thunderstorms move through. But here in South Central, we'll largely stay on the dry side with the exception of Kodiak, which will see some rain beginning to arrive overnight on into your Tuesday. If you live out towards the Pribilof, St. Paul, even as you head out towards St. Matthews Island, well, we're talking about fairly dry conditions into your Tuesday, but we will still hold on to some of those passing showers sticking around. The vast majority of that rain will impact areas of the eastern Aleutians, the Alaska Peninsula, and then you can see coastal areas of southwest Alaska, particularly out towards Bristol Bay, where we're going to favor some of those heavier downpours. So that's what's to be expected rainfall-wise as we welcome in the middle of the week. And again, southeast, you will see some of that increasing heavier rain for the central Panhandle arriving overnight into your Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday faring a bit on the drier side with warm conditions to be expected before widespread rain builds in by Friday. So you can see here over the next couple of days when it comes to that rain across the state, we're going to be talking about the interior, seeing again the potential for up to a ½ inch, if not slightly higher amount. You can see southeast over the next couple of days, we'll see that potential for some of those heavier downpours, and then you can see the southwestern parts of Alaska will hold on to that rain. If you live through western parts of the state, Nome, the Seward Peninsula, the Yukon Delta, and then extreme western parts of the interior, you'll largely stay on the dry side through the middle of the week. We can't rule out some thunderstorm development east of about McGrath, but largely expecting western Alaska to remain on the dry side with the exception of the northwest Arctic Borough, which will be under the influence of that trough, which will keep cooler, cloudier and showery weather around. So with that trough of cooler air, as well as some thunderstorms impacting the interior today and tomorrow, temperatures will be slightly cooler. We're still going to warm into the 60s and the 70s, but really going to tap into that warmth Wednesday and Thursday when temperatures warm back near 80 up under partly cloudy skies, and then we do cool down by the end of the week into the weekend as more rain builds back in with those temperatures set to drop back into the 60s. So for your statewide highs today, you can see those temperatures again warming into the 60s and the 70s for many areas. The slope, while those are the high temperatures to be expected, most of that already occurred this morning. Those temperatures are steadily dropping as that trough of cooler air remains in place. So Dead Horse did wake up to those temperatures in the 50s, but you are seeing about a 20-degree drop in temperatures over the last about 4 to 5 hours when it comes to that cooler air that's filtering in. Out towards the Aleutians, even with that rain in the forecast, temperatures daily will likely top out in the 50s. Now here across South Central, we'll stay dry. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies throughout the remainder of today, really through the middle of the week. And we'll see a decent shot for temperatures to warm near, if not into the lower 70s. Now the best chance of that occurring will be areas east of the Seward Highway in Anchorage, through the Mat-Su Valley, and of course as you head through the Copper River Basin. Now some of those notoriously warm locations for the coast, thinking more like Cordova as well as Seward, there is that potential they could also, or you could also warm near 70, if not into the lower 70s. So we stay dry through at least Wednesday, and then that rain ramps up the second half of the week. Most of that rain will grip the coast as we welcome in the latter portion of this week. But for inland areas, we're largely expected to see just some scattered activity to be expected. So not widespread rain by any means by week's end, but we are going to see an uptick in that cloud coverage as well as more rain back in the forecast. So enjoy the next couple of days with that sunshine in the forecast. And again, we are going to flirt with that 70-degree mark each and every day. You can see tomorrow maybe even more sunnier conditions across South Central. That rain is set to arrive Thursday into Friday, where we're going to see that chance for some showers, which should taper off by early a.m. Friday. Saturday for inland areas, largely on the dry side. Now parts of the Copper River Basin may see some showers, and of course we'll continue to see that lingering shower potential into Sunday. As we welcome in next week, we are going to be watching another trough of low pressure out towards the slope that will drop south through the state. So we are going to see a tilt towards some cooler conditions for the vast majority of the state as we welcome in next week. Of course, we got to get through this week, but leading up to next week, we could be talking about highs dropping back into the low to mid 60s for the vast majority of South Central. But if you live through western Alaska again, out towards Gamble, St. Lawrence, you're largely going to see some nicer weather sticking around the next couple of days before that rain moves in. And again, out towards the Aleutians, that rain sticks around, and then that decaying typhoon will sweep to the south of the Aleutians. It will get caught up in that Bering low that is currently with us, and that's going to lead to increased activity by the middle to the end of the week, where we're going to be talking about, again, areas of the Aleutians likely seeing up to 2, if not more, 2 inches, if not more, of that rainfall to be expected. But for now, get outside, enjoy that rainfall. We're also going to be watching, again, for some thunderstorm development through parts of the interior as we welcome in the coming days. That will lead to the potential that we could see some uptick in some fire activity across the interior. Of course, preparedness level across the state has dropped down to a level 2, but anytime we have those thunderstorms and dry conditions, be vigilant when it comes to that potential for some wildfire activity. Of course, we'll have more on that coming up in the noon show as well as in the evening newscast. For now, make sure you have a great Monday.